Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video where today I just wanted to talk about how behavior is actually finally listening. Operation Health is officially a thing coming to Dead by Daylight, and it is something that was needed for, I want to say, quite a while now. But I'm going to talk about all the changes here. But yeah, Dead by Daylight has been in a really bad state for a little while now. I want to say like one of the worst states I've ever seen it in. It is just such a mess when it comes to toxicity and how matches play out, how fair/unfair they are. The meta's constantly changing, and that's not necessarily a problem, that last one, but they're changing only for the worse, not for the better. And we have like all these issues with certain killers. For example, like if a nurse gets a down in the first 3 seconds, you can expect the other survivors immediately to run up and be like, nah, I don't want to play, don't want to do this, don't want to do that. Or, you know, AFK survivors ruining the game for the rest of them, AFK killer bots, all this stuff. This is just one of the most unfun times in Dead by Daylight, and I'm not even having a good time, and that's a pretty rare occurrence for me. I really like Dead by Daylight, if you couldn't tell by my usual constant support. Now, Behavior did say that unfortunately they had to postpone the release of their PTBs in upcoming cosmetic collections as well, and along with the next Rift and I think the next chapter fully has been delayed. But I'm not upset, and neither should you be, might I add. Dead by Daylight is in one of the buggiest states it has been in a little while. Not even buggy. At this point, it's just kind of unfair in some aspects, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that needs work, and I'd so much rather wait a little bit to have those things worked on, rather than have a half-assed chapter that doesn't feel like it does anything besides add another pile of bugs onto the mess that this game is at the moment. And I don't mean that in a mean way, I mean it in sort of a strict way. You know, we dealt with this shit for long enough. It is a playable game, yeah, but it's not where we need it to be. It's not where they want it to be. But with that being said, I'm very glad they're taking this step forward of this initiative in the role. It just makes a lot of sense on their part. I understand that they wanted to get cosmetics, chapters, new content, all of that out in order to keep hype up. Makes sense fully. But if the game's not playable, no one's gonna care about these pretty skins if we can't use them properly. I mean, we have one of the biggest chapters ever coming to the game at near mid this year. If the game's in its current state and that chapter launches, well, we're gonna lose all those players. You're gonna lose a bunch of current players, and it won't be good. So I'm glad they're taking this step forward in the business. And I think we should all be excited about this. We shouldn't be stressed out over the PTB being delayed, because who really cares? Would you rather have an unplayable PTB or a PTB that actually feels good? PTB that you want added in. Something unlike the Hellmaster where it was just like bug, issue, bug. And instead just a smooth PTB that we can actually put our feedback on the power itself instead of the bugs it brings. It feels like it will be a lot better than whatever the state of the game currently is. So yeah, this is definitely something that we need. And with all my yapping about the current state of the game going out there, we are going to have a real discussion and explain all that's changing in Phase 1 of Operation Health. Right, so the first change that is listed here is the surrender state. Now, this is a cool one. So, the team has been working on a surrender feature, which should limit player frustrations on both sides. To get it right, we first need to identify the situations where its use would be most appropriate, leading us to two scenarios. One is when all remaining survivors have been slugged when you are playing Survivor, and two, when all remaining survivors are bots as a killer. Once these instances occur, players will be able to use their surrender option, ending the trial whilst retaining the blood points they've earned and escaping the disconnect penalty. So effectively, if you have been slugged, you're no longer going to be sitting there for 45 minutes whilst the killer gets all the kills, finds all the hooks, or even just lets you die. But basically, you'll be able to surrender, which will be a lot better. So, the next state that they have here is the gamma adjustments. So, Dead by Daylight can get a little dark, not just thematically, and sometimes excessive darkness can hinder playability. We're introducing the ability to adjust the gamma settings on all platforms, allowing you to find a sweet spot without sacrificing the next intended artistic decision. Now that's another good one. I know a lot of PC players, I don't personally, but I used to if you look at my previous videos, use Reshade. And Reshade is effectively a big filter platform. You can also do this with NVIDIA graphics cards too on computer, but console has no option. There is nothing you can do unless you change your monitor settings themselves. But this will definitely be this is going to be something good for everybody, because some people just can't play like how it is right now. It's just hard for some people to actually have that sort of appeal you know, they can't see the game properly, so they can't play properly, and it's, yeah, a lot of people need this. Now, this next one is one of my favorite ones, because I literally was trying to record a game this morning, and this exact thing happened, and it ruined the whole game. So, go next prevention. The go next expression refers to instances where a survivor deliberately does everything in their power to quickly go to the next game, including walking up to the killer and standing still, running to a hook and repeatedly pointing at it, most commonly intentionally failing skill checks whilst on hook. To disincentivize this behavior and properly penalize it, we will be implementing measures that will help us identify when a player is attempting to go next. Once identified, they'll receive a disconnection penalty point and lose an entire grade. We'll be keeping a close eye on the system to ensure its accuracy, but we're confident that this will help alleviate the issue. On the other hand, we'd like to reward players who stick it out through those challenging matches, even when things take a dire turn. We'll be moving forward with a new emblem-based multiplier that grants additional blood points during your following match, with the bonus stacking over consecutive trials. This incentive could be one of the best things to come to the game as a whole. Have you ever had those matches where, you know, someone dies in the first 3 seconds or is tunneled out really fast and successfully as well? Effectively, if that ever happens now, you are going to have a new incentive, and this new incentive is just going to grant you blood points or iridescent shards or whatever per, well, however bullshit your match was. So let's say, like, you know, you got slugged out in the first 2 seconds. Well, no, that's not going to be a thing anymore. You got tunneled out in the first 2 seconds. They're going to recognize that, and they're going to be like, oh shit, let's give him a fuck ton of blood points. And then, after that, basically, your next match, let's say you get tunneled out fucking again. You're going to get double those blood points, or double those shards, or double that XP. It's a huge incentive. It's going to work really well, in my opinion. I am excited for that, even. And as a killer, going against like a bully squad, chasing one survivor that loops you for the whole game, and then, you know, failing for the rest, you're going to get that incentive as well. I'm pretty sure it's for both sides. So, yeah, it won't be as bad. That's at least what I gather from it. That's what it seems like. It's going to be a point where it gives you a huge blood point incentive, and you're going to be like able to go to your next match earning extra because of this shit match. It makes them so much more enjoyable to die. It's like, you're just there, you die, but it's fine, because the next match is now going to be so much better if you win. And even if you lose, if it's another shit match, it stacks again, and then you have another good match. And it doesn't matter, because you're going to be constantly earning these blood points, which is exactly what you're trying to do anyway, so there's no real disappointing part to it. So yeah, this is a good one. I really like this one. This next one's also pretty good. Extreme hiding and body blocking prevention. Extreme hiding refers to survivors drawing out an unwinnable match by ignoring their objective and waiting out the clock. To combat this, we're changing the way AFK crows operate. So they can more accurately identify when a player is deliberately avoiding engagement with the gameplay objective. Once a player receives crows, their location will be immediately revealed to the killer. We'll also be incorporating a feature that allows players to lose collision after receiving a third AFK crow, which should prevent instances of body block related griefing. Now personally, I haven't dealt with body block related griefing since I first started, and some dude just kind of trapped me in a corner. That was like the last time I've dealt with it, but I know a lot of people do experience these unfortunate games where they just kind of sit there and 3 people will come up and just keep them in the corner forever, and the killer will sometimes join in, and it's just terrible. This is one we've been craving, map offering changes. We recognize that map offerings are a bit divisive. Some players enjoy them whilst others feel they can grant unfair advantage. The fact that they may automatically bypass both the map and realm repetition system can also add to that frustration. Moving forward, the map offerings will no longer guarantee the appearance of a given map, but rather increase its chances by 20%. Note, they will not stack. We are also looking to make it so map offerings, as well as several other types of offerings, will remain a secret during load-in. That way your decision to remain in the match will not be swayed by external factors. And that's actually a really good one. That one's actually really good. Map offerings have always been a huge problem in Dead by Daylight. There's just been a couple maps that are so unfair to either side, and I have a video coming up on that, but that won't be ready for a little while. Either way, that's yeah, you know, I'm glad about that one. Fucking map offerings was some of the worst part of this game. I don't mind them as much as other people, but it really can be bad when you have a certain bully squad per se on killer side, or a really good killer on survivor side, and it just kind of destroys your entire game, because now the map you have is so unfair to you. Could also be more or less avoidable if behavior themselves actually did make their maps more fair, but you know, at least at this stage we won't be forced to play these shitty maps. We'll be randomly chosen to. Next up, this is another good one, spawn rules. So survivor spawn placements can have a significant impact on the trial's outcome. An observation has been repeatedly recognized by our community. It's become clear that survivors spawning separately, and thereby covering more ground, allows them to gain a notable advantage in completing their objective. So, We're changing the default survivor spawn rules to ensure that each survivor will spawn within 12 meters of another one on the same floor if applicable. To accommodate this change, shroud offerings will be adjusted accordingly. That's a cool one. I don't mind that one actually. That's a really, really interesting one, but a cool one in my opinion. This is a good one. Improved AFK bot detection. AFK bots can be frustrating to have in your trial, and we're working on improvements to our detection system so we can quickly identify and penalize them accordingly. Now, if you don't know what that is, that's effectively if you were to sort of sit in a trial and have an auto-click going where you're just constantly spamming a button. I get them really commonly on Survivor. They're really common on low rank, but basically you have a killer that's just kind of standing there swinging at nothing. And, well, that's going to be penalized now. They will no longer be allowed to do that, which will be pretty cool in my opinion. And the next one, I actually predicted this in my video where I said that the quality of life changes that we need here is bulk blood point spending. That's right, a big button where you can dump your entire set of blood points on one character. I predicted that, I'm happy I did. But yeah, to speed up general blood web activity, we're adding a button that will allow you to spend blood points in bulk. Fuck yeah, that's one I've been so excited for. And the next one, so these are the more exciting ones in my opinion now, but the next one is a quest system. Previously announced last year, the quest system is now a part of a larger update to the archives and rifts, so expect more information in an article specifically dedicated to that. For now, know that we are reworking the challenge system as well as daily rituals to reduce grind, make it easier to earn rewards, and increase the overall level of fun. Yes, this is what we need. Alrighty, next one here is perk, loadouts, and review. After a successful round of A/B testing, we'll be allowing more players to see their own perk loadouts whilst in the lobby, as well as adding additional perk loadout slots. That's interesting but cool in my opinion. I like that. We believe these changes will be an overall benefit to Dead by Daylight's health, further establishing a positive gaming environment for all of our players. We'd also like to thank you for your patience and understanding during this time. We will be back at our anniversary broadcast in May, to recap part 1, provide deeper insight to part 2 of our roadmap, so keep an eye out for that announcement. In the meantime, we're looking forward to hearing your thoughts and feedback. Thanks for spending time in the fog, the Dead by Daylight team. And everybody in the comments is going mad over how good this is and how excited they are, and this is one of the best sort of reactions I've seen to a Dead by Daylight post in centuries. So yeah, I'm excited, I hope you all are excited too, and yeah, congrats Behavior, you did something very, very well.